Hello Lincoln Violin players, I'm back. I just recorded the other video, so I didn't really take too much of a break. Now we're going to show you the G major scale. This is very similar to the D major scale, okay? We're going to just start it on the lowest string, which is our G. So we start with a nice open G. The lowest note the violin can play, okay? And just like the D scale, we're going to go index finger on our first tape line, middle finger on our second tape line, ring finger on our third tape line, okay? Now, to be able to do this, you might not be able to see very well, so I'm going to back up. Our elbow, our left elbow, has to come under a little bit, the violin, so you can see my fingers are kind of curving over to be able to press those strings down. We don't want them flat like this. We still want to keep the curve, so our elbow has to come in a little bit to be able to do that, okay? And our right elbow for the bow has to come up because we could only want to play our G string. If it's here, we'll play both. Even though that sounds nice, that's not what we're looking for, okay? So we start with our open G. And then we go to our first finger, which is A. Then we go to our second finger, which is B. Then we go to our third finger, ring finger, which is C. Then we have our open D string. And we play the exact same pattern that we just did. E, first finger, middle finger, F sharp, and finally our G, ring finger. So you can see this up on the board. I know it's a little hard to see because the chalkboard just doesn't appear very well on the camera, but I'm going to go through this. Okay. We've got our G first, okay? It's important to start reading music because this is how we play together in band. This is our G right here. You see there are two lines, then we have our G. Okay, that's the lowest note. Then we go up one to A, then we go up another one to B, then we're on this first line under the staff, which is a C. Then we go to D, which is just the space under the staff. Then we go to E, which is the first line of the staff. Then we go to F sharp, which is the first space of the staff. And then finally, we get our high G, okay? Now, it is an F sharp because if you see, this over here is called the key signature right by the treble clef. This top line is also an F. Remember, every good burger deserves fries. And now we have this symbol right here that kind of looks like a hashtag. That is a sharp. That means any F that we have, even if it's in this first space, is an F sharp, okay? So even this one that we have over here, F sharp, which leads us to our G, okay? I'm gonna do that one more time with the violin. All right, here we go. This time, I'm going to play 4 quarter notes on each note, okay? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you want an extra challenge, I'm going to show you something else. We can play another octave of the G scale. What that means is we can play all the same notes, but it's just a full octave higher. We'll explain what that means as we keep going in band, all right? To keep going with this scale, we start with our G, which is our ring finger on the D string, but we keep all those other fingers down, and that here's our G. So we have this, and our next note is open A. Okay, then we put our first finger down for B, just like we do in the D scale. This is where it gets a little different. You're going to put your middle finger down between these two tape lines. You see this? Between the two tape lines, okay? This is because what we're playing right here is a C natural instead of the C sharp that we have in the D scale. So it sounds like this. You gotta squish your fingers together really close, look at that. It's like no space between them, okay? And then we put our ring finger on the third tape line. No, not the second tape line, the third tape line, just like you do in the D scale. That was sloppy, I'm gonna do that again. Good. Then we have our open E. Then we have first finger, F sharp. And then one more time, we have our middle finger between the two tape lines. You see that? That's our high G, okay? So I would love it if some of my violin players were able to do this. If you can't, don't worry about it. Hopefully we'll get there towards the end of the year. But I would love it if some of you were able to do this within a couple of weeks, because I don't want all of the violin players to only be able to play this high. That was a little bit sloppy. Let me try it again. I mean, that sounds nice, but I would love you to be able to play. Keep going with the scale. So we ended up on our G. Once again, we have our open A. First finger B. Between the two tape lines, we call this a low 2, because it's our second finger, low 2. Between the two tape lines is our C. Then we play D, just like we do in the D scale, third tape line. Open E string. First finger on the first tape line. Second finger between the two tape lines. Okay? That's your challenge. If you can only get the first octave, that's totally fine. We'll keep working on it. But if you want to challenge yourself and get that second octave, that would be awesome. Keep up the good work, violins, and I will see you in band and lessons.